Self-love is often misunderstood. Today, I'm going to be sharing some nuances to help you understand the tripping hazards on a self-love journey and some of the gold you may be missing. Self-love is our ability to deeply care about and trust ourselves, which is easier said than done. And even when you believe you've embraced this important attribute and you've mastered it, it has a habit of sneaking up and pointing out bits we've overlooked or regressed on when we least expect it. Self-love goes deeper and is so much more important than being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, "I love you." That's not a bad place to start because it's hard for a lot of people to do that. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. And it doesn't help that many of us grew up with advice and admonishments about not thinking too highly of ourselves. We might get a big ego or a swelled head. Allow me to reassure you, if you've ever had that fear or worried about that in the past, about going too far with your self-love, it's not going to be an issue for you. The biggest benefit of self-love is that it allows you to chart your own course. You don't have to follow anyone else or a path that someone else laid out for you. It allows you to bravely make pivots when your current situation no longer serves you. And it allows you to not just dream big dreams, but to courageously launch yourself forward into the world to create them. It's hard to move out of your comfort zone and the stagnation of a dead-end job or a relationship if you don't love yourself enough to know that you're capable of making changes or even falling occasionally and catching yourself. You have to be able to love yourself enough to move past those normal fears that are going to be coming up and be willing to give it a try. Let me know in comments if you recognize a time when fear held you back from something you wanted to do, and if you can see how more self-love would have helped with that. Self-love is that enviable emotion that will allow you to get over a breakup or a layoff with speed and relative ease because you know that positions or your relationships don't define who you are. And most importantly, it allows you to have compassion for others and to love unconditionally. You know that nothing anyone else does is really about you, and you don't need their approval or affection to complete yourself. So what's the downside? What are the tripping hazards that I mentioned earlier? In a word, ego. Our ego is that part that sees us as separate from everyone else, and if left unchecked, can get into comparison and competition. Loving yourself has nothing to do with anyone else. Everyone is on their own journey. And you don't have to have the looks, the body, or the success that anyone else has achieved to be able to love yourself. You are on your unique path. And each of us can and should strive always to improve ourselves. That's part of the process we're meant to experience, our own growth and evolution. But each of our starting points and past environments and history is different. And so are our journeys, and the pace of those journeys will be different as well. As God's creation, we are all worthy, just as we are, as we have our imperfect human experiences. Ego will get us into comparisons, which is a fast trip to feeling badly about ourselves. Or the converse of that is getting into competitiveness and thinking we're worthy based on how we measure ourselves against someone else. We have more money or more success and therefore must be more worthy. That more word is a clue that you aren't on a good path. You are already lovable and worthy of love, and no one else has anything to do with it. Be sure to hit subscribe to stay in the loop on future trainings. And if you'd like to learn more about the benefits of self-love, I'll see you on the next video.